All right, all settled and arranged. Oh no, forgot to mute my own sound. Had to hear my own voice for a second. Such horror. Just turn me down some. And get the starting soon sign gone. Hello, Tenchi3 in chat. Yeah, I was just gonna sit and wait until someone said something in chat, but then it started to get a little long of a delay. So here I am, starting the stream. Wondering to myself if I count towards my own view count. That's what I've been thinking about for the last minute or so. Hello, our craft. So, as we found out on this week's Twitter poll, we're doing more Sheepguana natural history illustration. To remind us what that looks like, I have our previous illustration here in all of its glory. As you may recall, this was the Geyer Sheepguana. We did the ram, ewe, and lamb versions, and tried to figure out how to put horns onto an iguana skull. This week, I thought that we would do the Hurley Sheepguana, which I will read the description of from none other than our craft's excellent work on the topic. The typical Hurley Sheepguana has a compact, stout body for heat retention, with a wide tail for propulsion and relatively short legs with sturdy claws for climbing over rocks. Their wool covers most of their bodies, save the tail, the feet, and the tip of the snout. And when it is not flecked with dried salt, it is a deep black that seems to reach out to devour the light. This unique color, as well as its ability to repel fire and water alike, make it much sought after by wizards, adventurers, and other people rich enough to afford it or reckless enough to need it. Underwater, the fleece will trap a layer of air around the body that provides both insulation and buoyancy. The Hurleys increase this effect by breathing a slow, soft flame and directing the hot air into their wool, charging it up with heat against the icy waters. So, there's a reason that the Hurley Sheepguana have wool all the way to their little snouts. And they are going to be based on the visuals of, and I'll give you my favorite photo that I found, visuals of the aquatic Galapagos iguana, which is sort of a short-nosed aquatic iguana with a lot of sort of excellent face texture. So that's where we're headed in this adventure. And I'm gonna grab some reference. Got some swimming ones. This one has the baby. So I thought we might want to do a swimming one. Just because that feels like the sort of variation. Something to distinguish this species and therefore this illustration from others. And then we'll need to figure out how the wool and the horns will work. Get our reference up here. And And that's the plan. That is the plan for today. Believe it or not, I thought it out. I had a plan from the very start. So, get ourselves a layer, and guess what we're going to do right at the very beginning, before anything happens? We're saving a file right away. Before we've even drawn anything, we're creating a save file. Look at that. How responsible. How extremely careful and foresighted we are today. Or we're just putting off starting to draw. Oh, sorry, you have to watch me scroll through the world's longest list of brushes that I never tidy up. I always have trouble finding my one nice pencil. Where are you, nice pencil? Are you before or after gouache? I feel like you were before. Have I lost the ability to read, basically? It's a soft, there it is, pencil soft 10. My embarrassing brush mess. Quick glance at how we laid this one out. Okay, let's grab some text, stick it in here, just to have it around. Oops, I left behind the title. Where's the title? Down here. You know, we want it to be from the same scientific manuscript after all. So get all of our pieces laid out similarly. And just for the sake of making sure we know what's up, we'll fix the title and make sure that this is, let's make it plate 4. I don't know what 2 and 3 are, but sure, why not? Turn these off for now. Good. So let's draw some iguana. They've got, I'm just going to do some sketches first. They've got a very short little nose. We're going to have to warm up live today. I didn't do any sketching before I started the stream. It's a fresh art day. You can watch me remember how to draw. If you didn't know, you have to do that every time you start. It's a special feature of being an artist. You have to remind yourself how drawing works every day. So I think I want to keep, excuse me, I think I want to keep the little, the sort of rocky face. I really like that sort of rocky forehead they've got going on. But then I think what we'll do is we'll have like wool coming up around the around the face. And then that way we can kind of keep the craggy appearance, but follow the description that we're given, which is quite an excellent description. So they've got some craggy horns, like a rocky forehead. And then the iguana spines, I don't know. And this is kind of the shape of the face. got that jaw, got kind of a short nose for scraping rocks, I guess. Eating algae off of things. And they have a pretty stout chest, short neck, thick body. Do a little full body doodle here in the corner quick. They have muscular little legs. Has something happened? Why is chat threatening to throw things at me? No, everything looks like it's working. Am I not? What's happening? Why are you mad, chat? I was being a perfectly normal stream. I don't understand what's going on. Surely someone will tell me if the audio has just stopped or something. Oh, let's be fair. I don't think you can throw that far. I don't think you'd make it. I think I'm too far away for it to even be. I'm so confused right now, chat. I'm just gonna keep drawing this iguana. I don't really know what's going on. Cool. Everything's working. I'm gonna let you guys work this out for yourselves. I don't know what's happened. I'm just here drawing an iguana. That's all. A little fat iguana. Oh no. I'll fix the title now. I apologize. I'm not covering a teapot in snakes. Sheepguana. That's not how you spell that. That's not how you spell the fake word that we made up. With an exclamation point. Done. I think done. Nope. It decided that it didn't want that to happen. Let's type it again. Are we? Is this? No, it's just really firm. Oh, good. Are you seeing it? It may not have an exclamation point in a hot second, because every time I look at it, it just says cover a teapot in snakes and demands me to type it again. So, so I'm stopping. I don't think I've updated the schedule either. Now is not the time to update the schedule midstream. All the dates are still correct. But I had forgotten that did not say nothing at all, and instead had an actual description of what I was doing last time, which is not usual. Frequently I leave it blank. So you know, catching up with myself on Friday. Hopefully the title is correct for everyone. At least it doesn't say I'm doing art and instead I'm streaming Stardew Valley and disappointing everyone. So it could be worse. It could be a completely different topic. But let's get that Sheepguana sketch Still no video or audio. Otenchi 3. Oh no. So odd. I am getting a strong signal that I am in fact streaming. So I don't really know. I have no excellent solutions for the lack of video or audio for Otenchi 3, which would explain at least the confusion. Bummer. I don't know how HealthStream is working. I have been noticing that the watching now number has been fluctuating madly. So I wonder if Twitch is dropping people and picking them back up. Sorry. I have a healthy looking, exciting stream of green with no frames, no flames dropped, no frames dropped, and everything looks good. So I'm exonerating myself from responsibility. I'm just gonna be here drawing Sheepguana. Hope for the best. It's I'm not convinced that Hurley Sheepguana have horns. I do like the sheep horns, but it feels like it would be a severe impediment to swimming, which is their main occupation. So I think possibly, maybe they have, I think maybe they have little nubs, little nubbins. Wee little horns. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Don't like it. Just get maybe a slightly larger rock formation, maybe. Maybe the other way. That is not the right shortcut. Using keyboard shortcuts for another program in Photoshop, which I do all the time. I should just set them. I should just take my flip horizontal and flip vertical keystrokes from my other programs and put them in Photoshop. Then, no, that's weirder. Put it back. Then I'd at least be set every time I try and do that. I'm still unconvinced. And we didn't give the previous one like sheep ears or anything. No, they have iguana ears. Missed a trick there. Probably should have tried to give him sheep ears. Oh well. These guys swim, so they can't have sheep ears anyway. This is the Hurley Sheepguana, Hannah. Earlier I read the description, but if you missed it, you can find it. Honestly, I find it by Googling Sheepguana WordPress, which takes you right there, basically. Thanks, Rcraft, for making it easy to find with random search terms. But Rcraft has thankfully put up a WordPress collection of all of the excellent Sheepguana fiction, the scientific treatises of the Sheepguana. So so I can finally read it out to you without finding it again on Twitter. Because as we all know, searching and finding anything that happened like before yesterday on Twitter is just a horrifying hot mess. So, oh, Tenchi 3, can you hear and see? Are you participating fully? Does everything work? Hooray! Solved. I'm getting kind of swimming doodle. Because swimming is the main point here of our aquatic sheepguana. And then their kind of thick paddle tail. Little spines. Trying to keep the face structure clear in my mind, because they have like weird little snub noses. I want to keep getting that sort of right. And they have oddly deep iguana chests. They're sort of the quick sketch general forms going on here. Yes, not many results for the term iguana brothel. It's easy to trace the origin of that one. So I feel like I've kind of gotten pretty comfortable with this. I'm gonna turn you off for a minute. Let's see. It's difficult to regulate iguana brothels, just as a general rule. Let's see if I can find. Pause while I look at reference again. Ah, good. A couple of. Yeah, just wanted one with his feet up under him. Gonna have to nudge my windows around here for a minute so I can still see you, chat, while I have my reference. There we go. So, just glancing back at the other one again. So I think let's do one sort of down here. And we'll have it kind of showing off its sturdiness, its broad chest, and sturdy legs, and kind of looking up. To give us the full effect. Because then we'll have a lounging one above it for the other gender dimorphism example. Yeah, science words. I have made this whole thing just slightly too large. And I think I may need to shrink it. There we go. Oh dear. Hotenshi 3. That's the beginning of a story that ends with the snake in your bed, for sure. That's definitely a childhood story that ideally it's a fake snake and not a real one that you have to catch. I mean, because making someone think you've put something in their bed is fun. I don't know. It's I mean, the problem is that then you have to catch the snake, and that's potentially traumatic for you and the snake. But mostly the snake, really. See, that's what I think, Anna. I think snakes are great, and I like covering ceramic things with them. There turns out to be a fairly limited market for people that want their ceramics covered in snakes, though. I will say that the local craft fair group not into snake covered pottery. It turns out. Fun fact for the day. It's a hard sale to the holiday craft crowd. Um, Pottery sale went alright. Sold a lot of little partridge pear Christmas ornaments, and no snake mugs because an alarming number of people came up to me to tell me how really good my snake sculpture was and how really uncomfortable it made them feel. So, you know, uh, weird backhanded compliments. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it's a very snake phobic crowd. The Sunday craft fair attendees. I I would frankly not have predicted it. I would have expected more openness to snakes. Yes, Hannah. Basically that. Basically, this snake is so real that I'm afraid of it and I don't want it. Good work. Which is not. I mean, I guess that's nice. It's not really what I was going for. Was my goal was not to randomly horrify people who show up to buy crafts. Oh, this is really well drawn. I hate it. It's it's an interesting thing to say to someone just in general is This is really well done. It frightens me and makes me very uncomfortable. I mean, you know, if you're afraid of snakes, you're afraid of snakes. It's fair. Phobias are a thing. I'm not afraid of snakes. And I like putting them on coffee mugs. And yeah, I don't know why your first thought would be to explain how well done something is that it makes you uncomfortable. Where I'm having trouble with Sheepguana eyes today. Look at my sketch. Yeah, no, that feels like kind of where it goes. Maybe a little farther back. I mean, I could put snakes on other things. I could put snakes on anything, really. There's no limit to the number of things I can stick snakes to. Teapot looks really good though, you guys. It's just sitting over there on my desk, basically dry, waiting for me to take it into the kiln. And it looks pretty great. Switching back to see how I did the eyes of the other Sheepguana. Ah, cool. Made it up as I went along. Good to know. Yay. Upper right, the upper. Ah, yes. Yes. It's they're one of those critters that has the way the light hits the mouth changes the expression the human expression that you can read into them. But hey, let's go with shadows that make it look happy. That's more fun. That seems like more fun. Ah, child vase shattering occurs. I mean, Otenchi 3 had a similar problem with a cat. But now he's an old man and he doesn't really have the energy to accidentally shatter things. It was never on purpose. He was just clumsy and liked to jump onto things. Now he really prefers to just sit still and sleep. It's his new favorite hobby. Sleeping and eating. All right, let's see. Feels like a pretty good form. Got the tines that start back here. And we gave them little trying out a more nubbly horn version there. Just little horns. The very dark wool is going to be a trick, but we'll fake it with shading. kind of, let's say it gets kind of thin right around then it's, you know, it lays pretty close to the body because it has to, because it's got to trap heat. So we don't want to kind of make erasing texture. There we go. Sort of a hot mess of a sketch, but that's fine. Get some wool. He's got wool all the way, and then I feel like I think it's just the feet. Did I say the feet? I feel like I just said tail and feet. Did I keep it open? Probably not. That would have been clever. Oh, I did keep it open. Yes, let's see. The tail, the feet, and the tip of the snout. Good. Confirmed. Confirmed that we need sheepguana wool on legs was what that was about. And then let's, I think I want it to kind of do that sort of thin, getting thicker as it gets to the body from the tail. So we're woolly here. Woolly all along the body, and then thinning out to the tail. I had someone comment on Twitter that they would get a snake mug if it were bigger, that they drink their tea and coffee out of 24-ounce cups, and I was like, that's a thermos. You're drinking your tea out of a thermos now, and that's, I mean, just use a travel mug. That's a pretty epic tea mug right there. I think that's more tea than the teapot fits. All right, let's see. And then, yeah, like it gets thin again on the legs towards the toes. Because the feet are wool-less and grippy. Get some wool on the sheepguana, the Hurley sheepguana, the ocean-going sheepguana. It's nice thick, tight curls of wool, because it's got to keep the heat in and the water out. And let's see. Finishing up the toes, making them a little bit clearer. Good thick claws for rock climbing. Nice sturdy feet and legs. But I think like slightly, not like aggressively webbed toes, but just very slightly webbed for swimming. I don't actually know if they have those. I mean, Galapagos aquatic iguanas have those. I get to make up what I want about sheepguana, but it occurs to me that I don't know if actual aquatic iguana have webbing between their toes. I feel like they should. Yeah. Oh, yes, our craft in Germany. Yes, 24 ounces is a hilarious number of grams, or I guess what what is the um, it's fluid, yeah, fluid ounce. I don't know, because we have fluid ounces and regular ounces in volume and weight, and it's confusing. And anyway, yeah, it's a very large mug. It's a thermos, or perhaps a beer tumbler. But even like, but then I mean, a 24 ounce beer, like that seems like a lot of beer. Is that what, like a full pint right there? Maybe. Again, just guessing. Yeah, so almost a full liter of tea, which is a lot of tea. Ah, good, more. Yeah, right, because that's how it's a significant amount of tea. And props to that person's commitment to the amount of beverage they want at one time. It seems like a little bit of a hilariously large thing to try and put a snake handle on, frankly. But who knows? I may try it, or at least I may try a bigger mug rather than a teacup, sort of like a tumbler style. Tall mug. Because I don't know, I feel like at that point just put it in a teapot, just that'll keep it warmer. How do you drink 0.7 liters of tea before it gets cold? I have difficulty drinking a regular teacup of tea before it gets cold. But I mean, maybe that's me. Maybe I forget about my beverages when I'm working. That's a thing that happens. You leave it beside you and you start focusing on what you're doing. And then you look up and you're like, "Oh no, it's been 45 minutes and my tea is very cold." In that voice, like in a weird, "Oh no," presenter voice, because why not? Oh, right. So they sort of have kind of like a crest, and then sort of little ones going all the way down. I'm into that. Uh, yeah, Necro Buffalo, I would say drink herbal tea, but I'll be honest, I don't like a lot of herbal tea, so I've got no real help for that. I'll be the first to admit that I drink a hilarious amount of caffeine. Probably an unhealthy amount of caffeine. Ah, yeah. I think pu'er may have slightly less caffeine than like black tea, but I'm not sure if that's true. It may have slightly more. I may be having that backwards. I do love pu'er though, even if I'm probably mispronouncing it. I've given up on attempting to pronounce it correctly after I just sat across from the owner of a tea company here in the Bay Area and just said it back at her like 4 times with like me saying it and her saying it and me saying it and her saying it, like me trying to match her and just repeatedly failing. And at some point I was like, now it's just embarrassing. Now I should just stop. Well, yeah, because coffee doesn't taste the same as tea. I don't understand why people think that very black tea is like, oh, you should just drink coffee. But they're different beverages. Like the color isn't the thing. It's not. If you brew tea long enough, it doesn't become coffee. That's not how that works. It stays tea somehow. Um, I do the same thing though. I brew even like oolongs and things. I brew for a really long time. I just leave them in there. To be fair, overbrewing coffee is also not ideal. I don't recommend that either. Although I don't drink coffee anymore, really. I used to drink a lot of coffee. But then I was in college when Starbucks was invented, so I was there for the dawn of the venti. The dawn of the venti anything. All right, to save you guys from rotation, I'm moving the Cintiq instead of rotating my tablet. So if you hear creaking noises, it's the arm of my Cintiq going mad trying to like support the thing while I twist it around. Just so I don't have to rotate the canvas for you guys. So you get a nice, clean, non-motion sick-inducing video while I draw at a funny angle. Just because I want all of the spines. As I'm sketching this, I'm thinking, I'm going to have to ink these spines later, and I don't understand why I don't just do that now. There's no real reason to sketch them carefully like this. I could just do it on the fly with the actual ink later and have just the line, and yet here I am continuing to do it for some reason. That's good. Ugh, move my, oh no, I hit the zoom out button. It was almost a whole clean thing. Oh wow, chat, I stopped paying attention briefly and I'm just reading the term Mio-caffeinated water flavors. And now I'm concerned. Because I don't know what's going on there. Is that a thing? Or are we just dubbing tea and coffee caffeinated water flavors? A 0-calorie water added. All right. Okay, I think so. They've got like a mossy texture, like a mossy sort of like lichen color texture, where there's not wool, because that's fun. Oh, I'm discovering that this 0-calorie water additive is an actual thing and not just a clever joke about tea and coffee. Oh dear. Oh no. Look, it just sounds like you're talking about like caffeinated Tang at this point. Am I aging myself by mentioning Tang as a thing? Oh, good. There's a web link. Great. It's a thing. Yeah, well, you know, Tang is the original put powder in water for flavor. All right, this feels too simple, but it's, I mean, it's basically, that's basically it. That's the Sheepguana. Ah, yes. I am gonna add a little bit of rock here. I know everyone was like, no branches last time. Well, I'm not asking you this time. This time I'm just adding a rock. Adding a rock, and you don't get to stop me. It's too late. It's happened. There's a rock now. Just add some shadow. Add some wool lines. Because, you know, he needs to look appropriately fuzzy. There we go. Excellent. I say he, so I guess this is the ram. I don't know what the gender dimorphism will be with the Hurley Sheepguana. Shall we discuss? So, as I clean this up, just tidying it some. So we've got a nice sort of tall crest of tines. We could make that, or make the head rocks more prominent, or less prominent. I don't know that I want to do much with the horns, because I feel like horns are a detriment to swimming. So I don't want bigger horns. If you will recall, we gave the Ewe-guana a lovely mane, while we gave the ram-guana bigger horns and an exciting decorative dewlap, and discussed how he needs to be prettier. He's a pretty boy who has to impress the ladies with his decorativeness. So we have one Hurley Sheepguana that could be male or female, depending on how we want this to go. Important notes are that they both do need to swim. So they both need a good sort of thick body, sturdy legs, and like a nice wide, strong chest for paddling. I feel like we can make you slightly Nah, we'll leave you enormous for now, and just move the word. Just move the title over. So, just pop that up there. I am awfully fond of this pose. Just gonna give it its own. I really like the chill basking iguana. I mean, they both have to swim. So, I mean, we could, oops, not that layer. We can just make the feet bigger. Frankly, we have that power to just to just change reality. Just change reality with a Photoshop tool. I feel like I think the other one is just chilling. Just gonna take this. Okay, so maybe part of the gender dimorphism is scale. Maybe the males are actually smaller and fancier. How much smaller? Maybe just a little smaller. Let's doing that out some. Let's see. Now, how did I arrange? Oh, I arranged this in a very, very nice, tidy fashion. Well, no such luck here. Flip you. Sure. And then something will go here. I don't know what. Maybe the baby. We'll think of something. Is this going to be a zine someday? I don't know what it will be. They will be prints for certain. But their connection with the text is in part up to our craft, because that's how it works when you make a thing. I don't want to just take the thing. I want to work with the thing. Just put that there. I don't know why I'm like just put that there. Just put it. Okay. So maybe we've got more of a sort of a, not a dewlap, but like a main kind of, you know how stallions and like tomcats get like that really thick sturdy neck and shoulders. I think we're going to kind of go with that kind of. There, Hannah. Sure, it'll be a zine someday. That's the the writer has spoken. I'll slowly illustrate all of the Sheepguana. It's important to have in jokes that I can go back to over and over when I don't know what else to draw that week on stream. Genuinely, this week I was just like, I don't know. We'll draw something. We'll definitely draw a thing. And we'll definitely do it live on the internet. That's all I got. It's good to have running examples to go back to. All right. Yeah. I think he's got, so like, kind of a greater spine ruff. I mean, we'll go back to we'll return to bird D&D, don't you worry. That's it's another thing I have an inordinate amount of affection for that I'm not going to let go. We'll definitely keep coming back to bird D&D. Some nice craggy face here. Oh, Margot. Yeah, I mean, if I really want to do a thing, I just won't ask Twitter. uh, if you really don't want people to pick something, just don't give them the option. Is the thing that being a freelance artist has taught me. If you don't want to let it happen, don't bring it up. Never ever give someone an option that you don't think you'd be willing to do. Because they'll pick that option. Universally. The option that you just added in at the last minute because you were like, oh, don't feel like I have enough choices for this client. I better look like I worked on more concepts, and you just throw one in that you haven't fully thought out and you aren't sure will work. They'll definitely pick that one. And then you'll be stuck with it. You'll be stuck with all of your poor choices for the duration of a project. And no one wants that. So, there's your pearl of artist wisdom for today. Don't give people options you aren't willing to do. They'll pick your least favorite. So make sure that it's still like worth doing. I'm always also interested in other people's processes for trying to like trick clients into picking the option that they want them to. Like the kind of like psychology that people are putting into like how they arrange things or how they pitch things to try and like convince someone that the option that they want is the right option, while making it seem like they chose it out of a whole pool of like real options. When in reality, you tricked them. Like I know people who always put the one that they want first. Like they'll present the correct or preferred choice first in like a series of options. I don't know if that actually works, but I find it interesting. Because there is nothing more frustrating than working for a long time on something that is a bad choice. Putting a lot of work into a bad idea that was your bad idea. I mean, if it's someone else's bad idea, I mean, what can you do? But when you've done it to yourself, well, that's just disappointing, isn't it? I don't like how any of that worked out. I'm just gonna do it over. There we go. That feels better-ish. Get some fur. Wool. I apologize, not fur. This is a distinction there. Get some wool on there. Yes, some floof. Some Sheepguana floof. Because, you know. Because if they didn't have floof, they wouldn't be Sheepguana, they'd just be like regular iguana. Okay, I kind of want this foot to be like chillin' too. So I'm gonna kind of have it turned to the side here. How many? They have so many toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes. I forgot how many toes they have. I remember thinking this the last time I did iguana. Being like, they have so many toes. What? How did this happen? Why has nature allowed this to happen? Still feels weird and wrong. Oh well. It's fine. It's the way nature intended. We'll add wool. That will certainly help. There we go. Sure. And so yeah, that was your freelance art tangent for today. The trials and tribulations of convincing people to let you make good art. Feeling pretty good about fuzzy aquatic iguanas. Confused that it feels like it's going significantly faster than the previous one did. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like we've almost got 2 and I feel like it took the solid 3 hours to do these. Did I put more details in? Like what happened? Oh, Hannah, practicing makes me able to draw a thing faster. I don't know if that's true. That's actually, it's definitely true. To be fair, I think actually probably doing those little quick warm-up sketches right before I started also helped. I probably should have done that with the other one, rather than starting from basically rough sketches and working into them. I don't know why I didn't do quick sketches of the first ones. Maybe I just felt like the rough sketches I started were good enough. I don't know. But I usually do quick sketches before I dive into a actual design. As you may remember from such exciting examples as just now, or the Putu bard. Putu? We had this conversation already once on stream. I'm gonna keep calling it a Putu. until a scientist or an actual Putu shows up to stop me. Those are my terms. I demand correction by an expert. I'm willing for that expert to be an actual Putu. The spirit of the Quailden guides me. Yeah. Okay, I feel like this needs shaping. Just gonna give him a haircut. That feels better. It feels more. Dimetrodon, whatever the dinosaur is with the frill, the back frill. Hannah, I assume will know. I know that's unfair, isn't it? It's like, Hannah, tell me dinosaur things. I was not, I admit, a huge dinosaur kid. I was a horse girl. Never mind, Hannah, it's fine. It's fine, I'll Google it. Hang on. Hang on, chat. Yeah, I was right. Dimetrodon. Cool. I remembered a thing. Let's find a good visual example of Dimetrodon. Just to share with. Oh, a fossil example. Perfect. Yes. So from Wikipedia, Dimetrodon with the frill on the back. My extremely good and useful description is fine. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Dimetrico, that's brilliant. No, I was just referring to the excellent shape of the neck tines in reference to the Dimetrodon back frill. And then, because I'm that sort of person, I had to go and prove to myself that Dimetrodon was the correct name for the correct creature. Because I wanted to know that my brain was working. And I feel that we all have those moments. I'm the sort of person that will lose a word and then I have to stop a whole conversation while I try and find the word. Because I hate that sensation so much of knowing there's a word that means a thing, knowing that once you knew it and it's right there somewhere inside your brain and it's not giving it to you. Which is sort of a betrayal of the agreement you have with your brain. Like, that's its basic function, is to give you the words you need to say the thing. And I like to make it do its job. Yeah, Dimetrodons are early, aren't they? Like very early in the timeline of. Maybe I'm incorrect, but I thought that they were pretty early. Anyway. Yay, dinosaurs. But more importantly, yay, Sheepguana. And that sort of lichen pattern. So I'm gonna tell you a story, chat. and then you can tell me if I'm the weird one. I have a sort of an obsession with moss, to the extent that I'm sort of famous in my family for falling well behind on hikes because I have stopped to take like careful macro or photos of moss and lichen. And what I would really like to do is put together a show where there's ceramic works, like semi-functional pottery shapes with moss and lichen texture next to woodblock prints of that same sort of pattern texture rendering of moss and lichen. And that seems fine, right? Yeah, Otenchi 3. I'm creating a bubble where people who specifically watch the things that I do, I'm asking you to validate the things that I do. That's how this whole thing works. Of course I'm asking you if I'm normal. You're supposed to say absolutely, that's fine. Because I've created this scenario specifically so that you enjoy the things that I make. If you didn't, I assume you wouldn't be here. That'd be a little weird. So yeah, thanks, Arcraft. I think it sounds awesome too. It's possible that people just don't like waiting for me to take photos of moss, but I have like a huge collection of moss and lichen photos because I just really, really into moss. I mean, I suppose normal and weird are probably the wrong subjective terms to use here. Because of course, there's no such thing really. It's true. I like hiking with Hannah because hiking with non-artists is weird for artists because it's difficult to convince people to indulge us. You know, someone who's like, let's hike to the top, and I'm like, sure, but can we stop for an hour while I paint a tree? And the answer is generally no. But when I'm hiking with Hannah, if I'm like, can we stop to paint this rock? It's covered in orange lichen and it's really cool. The answer is yes. And that's great. Because it's hard to find. It's hard to find a good indulgent art hiking buddy. The best I can do with most people is fall far behind while I take photos. I wouldn't fall that far behind, I think, if I wasn't using either my phone or like my very old camera, which doesn't like to focus on very small things. So maybe if I had a newer, better camera, I wouldn't have to spend quite so much time trying to get the perfect photo of the moss. Then again, I might. Yeah, I have a lot of partially finished sketches and paintings from trips with people where I took a little bit of time to do some plein air stuff and then had to cut it short. Or because it started to rain, I've got a really excellent sketch of I want to say the York Cathedral or maybe the Salisbury Cathedral, one of the England cathedrals that I started. I got a very detailed pencil sketch done. I was going to watercolor it, and then it started to rain, and I chose not to continue. It's the excitement of making art outdoors. But I like to, and this is probably just an artist thing in general, but if I've drawn something, if I've studied it and put it on paper in any fashion, even just a sketch, I understand it better. I remember it better. It has more of a mark on my memory, even if all I've done is like a quick doodle. All right, turn off that layer. Yeah, getting there, getting there. So we've got sort of a thick woolly ruff going on. Nice. And I've given him a little bit of a, I don't know, a side frill. It seemed like the thing to do. I think I might make his rocky nose a little bit more impressive here. There we go. Yeah, and it's not necessarily, I think, that people you're traveling with or hiking with, don't want you to draw. But there is a drive to like do more and see more and a schedule to keep, and you do go fewer places and see fewer things if you spend 2 hours, painting one view. So I kind of get it. Some days it's better to finish the hike than to stop partway through and spend all of your time painting. But not always. All right, now the question becomes, what else are we going to do? We've got the male and female of the species. Yeah, a wee babbin. A lamb. That seems like the logical next step. Are we going to do a skull, or are we going to do something more specific to the setting and creature? I mean, we could just follow the same format, but I feel like we could mix it up, have some fun. But what would we mix it up with? I really love this guy. I like his face. I give him a slight underbite. He looks so satisfied with everything. Give him some rock to chill on here. Don't like that bit. Erase. Just there we go. So we've got two. We've got the male and the female. Do a wee one. Ooh, that feels like that's a whole other illustration in our crafts. I don't know if that's an inset panel. That's that feels like its own whole thing, rather than a side note. Well, we did talk about one swimming, but then I did not do it. So maybe a close-up of a foot shows some webbing. That has potential. Tell you what I will do quickly. I will switch to. Oh no, I've opened the panel. I'm just gonna do a little test here of the wool. Of the dark wool. Yeah, because it's a science illustration. It's concept. So, you know, the usual sort of thing is inserts of details and like important notes about variations. Different variations in form and coat and such. So yeah, maybe a close up of a wee webbed foot. Possibly. I mean, maybe a microscope inset of wool fibers, but that feels too technical. Feels too technical a thing to attempt to accomplish. So, like a close-up of sort of the webbing of the toes. The skull is different though. So there is some argument to be made for having the skull in there. Because it's got its short little nose. A different form. All right. I've started shading. Mistakes were made. It's supposed to be just a quick wash. Oh no. Oh yes, probably different teeth. They have a different sort of diet. Get our wool. Okay, okay. I'm stopping. I promise. Promise. Okay. Good. Putting it back on the pencil. Everything is fine. Saving. So yeah, so maybe a foot close up, a skull, but first we'll do a lamb. But first. We're halfway through. I'm out of tea. So it's time for me to take a tiny little break. During my tiny little break, feel free to figure out what else we should put in this drawing. As you will recall, last time we had a quail and a bow, so it does not have to be on-topic information. I'll find a way to hide it in there. But I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, put the kettle on, have some more tea, and I will be back really shortly. See ya soon. Put the break time banner up. Break time banner up at the top. Sheepguana face at the bottom. Oh wait, no, let's have the satisfied looking one. There we go. And I'll see you in a minute. And back. Break time off. I fetched myself a fluffy blanket because it's a little bit chilly. And I have tea again. I see that chat did not talk about what else to add while I was gone. I see they sat in silence. So, I guess we're gonna do what I want today. It's time for baby. Let's see. Gonna Google a fish thing. Let's see. Let's well it's Googling fish grooming is confusing. It seems to imply that we are meant to be grooming fish, which is, it feels like, incorrect. That's okay. This is more what I was looking for. The kind of, there's a kind of fish, chat. There's a kind of fish that grooms sea turtles. So I'm trying to find that. I saw it on Planet Earth once, and now I'm attempting to find it based on that knowledge alone. Let's see, fish grooming sea turtles. It's triggerfish? There are a lot of pictures of triggerfish. We could go with triggerfish. This is great content, I know. Just me Googling off screen. I shall put it on screen. It's that's all I got. So yeah, that may be something like that. So yeah, I forget it's one of a Blue Planet, maybe one of the newer Attenborough narrated series had a whole thing on grooming sea turtles. There's like there was a queue of sea turtles lined up for the right rock where all the fish like would clean them. And if I knew exactly which one it was, I'd just direct you to it on Netflix, but I don't remember because I watch a lot of nature shows when I'm working. But so yeah, I to go with, because I like our crafts idea. I need, I think, a sort of visual of one of the, like, over and, like, under and above the water kind of camera angles. Let's see if I can figure out how to fake that kind of, you know, where it's like baby's up here, just like out breathing out of the water, and he's holding onto a rock, and then he's under the water, and there's, you know, I'm a professional artist, you guys. Look, I drew a fish. There's a little school of fish tidying his wool. You know, kind of like that. There's my sketch. Put it there-ish. Because then I'll put a foot here, maybe a skull here. Is my plan. It's true, for that to work, it would have to have parasites, but it was Arcraft's idea, and Arcraft invented the Hurley Sheepguana. So I'm just going to assume that they could have parasites, and that it's important for them to be removed for the sanctity of the heat trapping wool. Then again, I am getting pretty adept at making things up as I live stream. So, I mean, I could explain that cracking noise that you may have heard was my footstool, just in case you're wondering what that was about. Nothing to be concerned about, just breaking my footstool in half. Carry on. Is that a blank layer? I've already given myself a layer. Good job, me. Well, as described, underwater, the fleece will trap a layer of air around the body that provides both insulation and buoyancy. The Hurleys increase this effect by breathing a slow, soft flame and directing the hot air into their wool, charging it up with heat against the icy waters. And, oh yes, sea fleas. And I did not read this earlier, but let's carry on with the adorableness. In the cold months, one can often see the shores of their pastures dotted with pairs of sheepguana with their noses buried in each other's fleece, warding each other against the cold. To preserve this effect, Hurleys cannot be shorn as closely as other breeds, which contributes to the high price their wool commands. Flea barnacles. Ah, yes. Oh, yeah. Let's not think about how that would work. Let's just quickly move on to the fact that Hurley Sheepguana assists smiths. Beyond just lighting the fuel of their forges, some sheepguana are fed a special diet optimized to produce flammable gases and will sustain, modulate, and guide their flame to the direction of a smith. No, Artcraft, you do not want to Google that right before breakfast. Do not Google barnacle anatomy until later. Later, when you're feeling really secure. Really secure in or you want to write a horror story. One of those two things is the time. to Google barnacles, and not before then. I always suggest learning something new, but maybe not at a rapid pace in this scenario. Just yeah, that's a good plan. Wait until the sun is up. It's warm and bright out, and you can think everything is fine. Nothing bad could possibly happen. Okay, I need to do baby Galapagos iguana. Show me an image of oh they're always sitting on they're like always sitting on top of adults. It's adorable. There's just a ton of pictures of them sitting on parents, and I love it. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. They are adorable. And I want to capture that. Okay. They've got they've got the same short little head. And like they have to grow their wool pretty quick, but I think that they don't go in the water for a while. You know. Like baby seals. I don't know why it took me so long to finish that sentence. I don't know what that pause was about. I was thinking about where the I went, and I just stopped talking for a minute. I apologize. It was always meant to be like baby seals at the end of that sentence. Just took a while to get there. Get better. Still not happy with the eye. Needs a shorter face. There we go. Yes. Good. He's still growing in his face wool. It creeps up as they age. So it's and he doesn't yet have much of a rocky forehead. He has little nubbin horns though. Just little the start of horns. But he is born with wool. Yes, little horn buds. They are. He's born with wool to keep warm. Thicker, more complete wool than the sort of. I mean, let's be honest. He's a little scraggly. The Geyer lambs are a little a little naked comparatively. You know, sort of like a human baby who's born with just a little bit of hair. Whereas I think that the Hurley sheepguana it creeps up higher, which is why they have to sort of grow into it around their nose. But I think they're born with a pretty thick coat. Because, you know, they have to be able to keep warm on the on the rocks and in the ocean spray, even in their very early young life. Bigger feet. I don't know what tool that was, but it was the wrong one. Wrong keyboard shortcut. Bigger feet. Still bigger. Maybe too big? Nah. It's fine. Perfectly acceptable foot size. Because they've gotta be strong enough to cling to rocks after all. They've got to be able to get to those shallow rocks with just the beginnings of the seaweed and algae they'll be eating. Yeah, he has to grow into his feet. That's a given. There we go. We'll give little baby, little fuzzy baby. And there's the back leg. And too many toes. We'll fix that later. And he is on. So we'll give it some kelp, seaweedy kelp. Sure. You know, under ocean textures. There we go. And a little spine nubs. All right. Now, questions. What do these little fish look like? Small. Just gonna look up small Galapagos fish and see what I get. Not a helpful visual, really. Well, this is a nice fish. I wonder what kind of fish it is. The Azurina. Oh, the Galapagos damsel. We'll go with that. That seems nice. Something along the lines of that form. Oh man, chicken flavored. What? Oh yeah, he latch onto their mom's food for swimming lessons. Big feet for paddling. Fish mice. No, it's I wanted a nice small but decorative enough fish. Just I wanted to have a form to go on, kind of. So just to have a general shape idea. I like this fish. It has a nice sort of fish form. Fish with big quail mermaids. Merquail, because I'll be honest, mermaid is a weird term. It's just it's gender specific. So it must be mer people. Because a quail maid is just a I don't know, a quail who cleans your house, or a quail maiden, depending on where you are in the archaic terminology. You need the mer in there. Because, otherwise you're missing the important ocean-going part of the word. Get some little fish. Nice fish fins everywhere. And then although these particular fish don't have a pattern in the image, I'm going to give them a decorative pattern so that they stand out. So they've got little stripes now, is what's happened. Now let's see if I can do multiple views of this fish I've just invented. Oh boy, let's see. Fish can curve around. Yeah, there we go. That sort of makes some sense. Kind of like that. Make my oh, it's like having to do a character turn in an animation. Like, oh no, now I have to position this thing I've just invented just this moment in a bunch of different places. Cool. Wasn't prepared for that. Didn't think this through. But that's okay. We can make it sort of make sense. And that will be fine. And one here. Slightly larger. This one will have its mouth open more if I can figure out how that works. It's fish too wide. Too weird. Okay. There we go. Sure, makes perfect sense. Everything is fine. Yes. Cool. Feeling okay about it, it's a little face. Just satisfied with saying I'll figure it out later. My invented species of Sheepguana cleaning fish. Yeah. It's fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you? That's right. That quote will never die. It's applicable to so many situations. All right. Fish. Do we need another fish, do you think? Probably one or two more fish. Kind of have one. Yeah, there we go. A school. And then tail. Oh, we're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you? Star Wars quote. Did I not actually say the quote? That's great broadcasting right there. Han Solo from A New Hope. The shrug at the end when he turns off the comm is pretty much perfect. Yeah, the tone is pretty important in that quote too. He puts on like a customer service voice. He's like, we had a slight weapons malfunction, but we're perfectly fine here now. Everything's fine. I think it's one of those quotes that as kids we used a lot as sort of a repeated joke. That and Princess Bride quotes. Specifically, anything that follows, you'd like to think that, wouldn't you? Because there's a whole speech there, and you'd like to think that, wouldn't you? Is a thing that you sometimes actually say in real life about things. Yeah, we won't start The Princess Bride because I can probably just repeat the whole movie. Because that's my childhood. That Star Wars and Willow. Childhood movies. Ah, yes, The Last Unicorn. Although, not as much as, for whatever reason, The Princess Bride and Willow. But yeah, all animated. I'm an animator professionally now, so yes, definitely The Last Unicorn. But Star Wars, Willow. All the weird movies of my childhood. Things that I did not see in childhood that I suppose I was meant to is Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, The Never-Ending Story. I've never seen The Never-Ending Story. Ever. Just at all. Not even once. I mean, it's part of pop culture. I know what happens. I know the general plot now. All right. I need to figure out how to make this appear to be... Nope, that was the wrong layer to turn off. There we go. I need to figure out how to make this look like it's underwater. There we go. I mean, I've seen Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal since. They weren't my formative childhood films. No. My formative childhood films were Willow and The Princess Bride, which, you know, may explain a lot, may not. Let's... Okay, I can't. I'm gonna have to rotate the... Sorry, everyone. You're just gonna have to deal with the rotated picture. Now, the thing about actually being underwater is that it should like refract, kind of. So, like, technically it should kind of be like a weird offset and like slightly smaller looking. But I don't know if that serves our... Well, I don't know if that actually serves our purpose, though. Yeah, I mean, it does kind of make more sense. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with kind of faking science. There we go. Sort of faking refraction is what we'll say. So, you know, if we want to talk about media, I am just excited that I get to watch and enjoy The Mandalorian at the same time that everyone else does, because I'm not usually in on the cultural phenomena television. I don't watch a lot of television, and I never enjoyed Game of Thrones. So it's exciting to be watching a thing that everyone else also enjoys for a change of pace. To be part of the cultural phenomenon that is Baby Yoda. Oh, whoa. Too many layers. Just these layers. Just a little bit bigger. There we go. Hannah is chanting "expanse, expanse, expanse" in the chat, and I don't know why, unless she means the Amazon Prime show The Expanse. Ah, I believe it's based on a series of novels, but that is only a belief, not a fact. Oh, okay, good. Yes, we're all on the same page. Ish. The same sort of page. Oh, interesting. Like a writing team. I like it. Gotta shade my baby Sheepguana here. I feel like maybe they're lighter than the adults. Like they darken as they age. Because, sure. Yeah, that I don't I'm never sure whether you should read books first with adapted media. Sometimes I feel like you may actually enjoy the adapted media better if you haven't read the books, because you won't have formed a preconceived notion of how you would adapt them. But that could be me. That could be a thing that I do that other people don't necessarily do, which is if I've read a book and then I see an adaptation, I'm quite harsh on the choices they've made based on the choices I would have made. Hey, that's too bad. I hope the books are I hope the books are good because I like things to be good. Unpopular opinion, I like it when things are well done and succeed. It's more fun that way. Let's erase water highlight there. Okay. Okay. We have 2 adults and a baby. A baby being cleaned by a fish, which is exciting. Yeah, I find that personally I feel like I don't recommend books to people unless I know what they like, and like I'm sure they'll like that book. Um, because I've found that people that would otherwise have similar genre tastes can disagree strongly about books. Okay, let's do a foot. Let's do uh, an iguana foot. I have Googled images of iguana feet, and believe it or not, the internet has provided really, really excellent, clear images of marine iguana feet, like really good images. Apparently the internet does care about Galapagos iguana feet. Cool. We will do the hind feet because I feel like, well, maybe the front feet. Which do we? The tail is kind of a rudder. Which is more important for swimming, the front feet or the back feet? The back feet are kind of more interesting looking, so maybe we'll go with those. Back feet. Get that in there. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Too far. New layer. And let's see, kind of here. Okay, good. Back feet as paddles. Okay. So little toe, bigger toe. This is not the shape of the feet. This is me trying to figure out how iguana toes work, because as I've complained about a number of previous times, they're weird. Iguana feet are weird. They've got, like, this is kind of like a thumb, but it's like a super long weird thumb. And then these are like two wee short toes. So yes, iguana back feet. Toes. These are the long toes. These are the toe joints. I don't know why I'm announcing this information in particular, but yeah, joint. This joint, because I can, yes, because if you run out of things to say, you can always just say out loud the thing that you're doing. This feels like it's kind of a one joint toe. Like that toe joint is there, there. And here, and here. And it kind of has like a palm there. Yes, because we're just figuring out how the joints work, because we are giving them. Here's a fun fact. I am looking at a marine iguana foot of the real world variety, and they do not have any webbing at all. So we're departing from reality further than we already were, as if we were somehow still in that realm. So now the webbing seems like it should be Sintiqua. Not super, like, not all the way up there, not like full webbing, but more like a little bit loose, so that when mid joint, so that when it paddles, it has a greater pickup. Probably it kind of folds when they're this close together. Just sort of that kind of webbing. And then because it's webbed, this whole scenario is a little bit less clear cut. This whole scenario, you kind of get the distinction, but the scales go, you know, through it, so it's a little bit less of a hard line. Where the little bones are. Except for right here, because this is just like a little vestigial web, if you will. And there's like a sort of a top of the, not too far down, larger scales on the top of the toes to a point, and then it just kind of becomes all over small scales at about this joint. So you've got, and then I think we need to make some slightly more spectacular claws here. There we go. Oh man, the more I look closely at this, the more weirdly wrong it looks. It's an exciting side effect. And let's see, where did I have the fur come to? Okay, I had the fur actually come down up to about here, so let's have some a wrist length coat. There we go. Got wool and then a little bit of fur. Tidy up the nails. Clean up the sketch a little bit. Faking scales with cross hatching. Erasing these big joint circles because they aren't actually part of the, there we go. Get some scales on the top. Okay. Sketch of toes. Foot close-up achieved. All right. We're really going here. Modified parrotfish. Oh, trimming the nails. Adorable. Okay. Now we had discussed. I'm just gonna grab all of these and move them all down and over, not too much, because, oh, I should not have put all of this on one layer. Because I want to move you over here some. Could rotate you. Nope, just a little. Give us some room for a skull up here. Okay. Now I have to find a skull. Just gonna close some of my 3 million reference images here. Check everything. And marine iguana skull. Okay. Oh, yes. Neat. A neat. Oh, it did that thing where it didn't download. I have to do it over again. Okay. Marine iguana skull. They have a neat shape. I will show it to you. Marine iguana skull. It's got a little snub nose, big eye socket, and I feel like we maybe used similar teeth, or a combination. Let's see, we did a combination of sheep and, yeah, we did a combination of sort of iguana and sheep molars for the gyre iguana, but it feels like this is a little bit more of a specific diet. So I think we need to keep the little tined looking teeth for scraping, and maybe add some molars and some sheep molars in the very back, but not maybe just the bottom molars as you do. So let's see, we've got, oh, I started really large. It's fine. It's all fine. Looks like a Simpsons character. Have to fix that up. There we go. I have no lower jaw in this reference. Close the reference image too early. It's alright, it's gonna keep auto-typing marine iguana skull now every time I start typing marine into Google. It can work it out, because I need the lower. There we go. Oh, hey. No, in this version, the skull has the rocky texture built in. Interesting. I wonder. I wonder if that's a thing. It looks like it might be a thing. Neat. Learning so many things today. Oh yeah, because this one kind of has the... Uh-huh. I will bring this one over. This is an image of a replica that is for sale on the web. But it's got that kind of rocky texture in the actual bone, which is really interesting and unexpected. So that's neat. I like it. I like it. We'll include it. We need to tidy this up a little bit. Get that to kind of... Yeah, there's that bone that goes there. And there's the jaw. Goes back here like that. Sketching skulls. Reminds me of art school. And always will. It's just the way it is. But yeah, I think the texture built into the bone is really interesting. So we're keeping that because I think it's neat. And got the bone horn. How did I do it on this one? Yes. Right, perfect. I just think they're neat. I just think the skull bumps are neat. Yeah, that it doesn't... I don't know. I don't know why it does that. Maybe they use their heads to scrape or something. Maybe there's a whole purpose as to why the forehead needs to be strong and rough. I don't know. I don't know, but it's interesting and I like it. So I'm keeping it. And of course, that's a reason to include the skull in the scientific illustration, is the rather unique texture. Oh no, the barnacles have come back. A thing that you definitely don't want on you. Barnacles. Oof. But we were gonna spare our craft this information until later, so we've accidentally hinted at the horror, you guys. We're not protecting anyone at all anymore. Okay. Get some interior. Da-da. Skull interior. I feel like at some point I'm going to have to zoom back out and look at what I've done, but not yet. Not yet. First, we can do some details. Okay. Teeth. Teeth, teeth, teeth. So it's got some, the teeth have they've got weird teeth. They've got weird teeth. And I'm keeping the weird teeth. It's just, and I think I'm going to keep them to here maybe. Sort of, they're for scraping. So to there, and then nothing back here, because, oops, because we're going to have molars in the bottom but not the top. So that's not how teeth work. Let's try that again. In between. And in between. Ooh, Sheepguana tusks, pronounced decorative canines. Well, I like the idea. But so far, not yet. Although to be fair, it sort of fits the Mongol, the Kongo, Demetrico. Oh no, Dimetra goat now exists. What have we done? And by we, of course, I mean me specifically. That's probably my fault. But, you know, I can force you to share the blame. You know, I can make that happen. Oh, Dimetri Goat has existed since Halloween. Oh, that was a thing that happened back then. Ah, I see. I see. Well, we're going to give him some molars here. Because he also sometimes nips off seaweed. And then back here. Just make that a hot mess. Okay, let's fix our scale here. We need this bit to be bigger. Now that we're there we go. Now that we're zoomed out. That was a winner. I see. So it's not my chat's fault. It's your chat's fault. Haha, says I. Okay. Got some skull shape going on back here. I like how it's they're like our kids, and like when they're in your chat, they're your chat. When they come here, they're my chat. Could it be the same people? It could. But when they're not here, they're not my responsibility. I mean, we're not really parents. We're more like teachers. Teachers with a raucous classroom. I feel like the worst teachers. I feel kind of like chat needs like a title. Oh, the fun aunt. Yes, that's right. I'm the fun aunt. I'm the fun aunt I'm the fun aunt who gives your kids cake and then sends them home before I have to deal with the crash. That's me. But still, I've noticed that people have a tendency to give sort of their chat like stream followers like clever names. And I'm jealous because I haven't thought of a clever name. I did not know that Hershey's has 5-pound bars, but it's a good thing to keep in mind for when I need to destroy other people's sleep schedules by giving their children large amounts of chocolate. Oh right, well so that was for a thing. Oh, we were trying to come up with Hannah and I were trying to come up with tea time variations. And it wasn't working. But but Abominable Fancies was a good one. But you know, a lot of streamers have like the such and such army, or you know, clever names for their chat team. Yeah, I'm gonna unpopular opinion. Hershey's chocolate is not that good. It's just not. Sorry. There's so much better chocolate in the world. Quail mates. Ah, That feels like a service that delivers you quail, though. Although I do like quail mates. That's quail. No, quail mates like delivers like it's a person in a car that shows up with a sack of quail, whereas quail mail leaves it on your back stairs, and you have to, hope they text you to let you know that it's there before it gets rained on. Okay, I feel like this skull is basically set. Oh no. So let's see, what other I mean, I could just call you the Murmuration and shout out to starlings, but then I'm implying that we're a cult, and that's not cool. Everyone's, I assume, here of their own free will. So let's see. It could be a crew. It could be a team. Oh, we're not a. I mean, yeah, I prefer to think of it as more of a fashion statement. Uh, Look, the robes are comfortable. Okay. I mean, we could all just be Quailodin. You could be the Quailodin. What? Oh. Well, now I've got to click on the link that's been put into chat. What do we have here? Oh, that's okay. Here we go, everyone. For your Christmas needs, I present you with 80 pounds of not 80 pounds, 80 euros. I wasn't really paying attention to the thing. Nope, it is pounds. Whatever. Chocolate. Lots of chocolate. Including Megalodon tooth and a trilobite and more teeth. A claw of some sort. Ah, yes, ammonite. So, anyway, chocolate box from the Animal Museum for all of your Christmas needs, or Hanukkah needs, or other pagan rituals that you may wish to celebrate in midwinter. Yeah, or just general middle of the year chocolate requirements. I feel like I'm just fiddling with this now. It's too small. Need to. There we go. Need to fix this. I mean, look, if you want to start a cult, Hannah, that's your business. I'm here attempting to make sure that our that our pagan religion is on the up and up. it, you, I would like everyone to gaze upon this error message. This error message that suddenly says that I must use a compatible pen. It's the same pen I've been holding the whole time. It's the exact same pen. And now it doesn't work. So we're just gonna save this file, and now that I've saved the file, the pen works again. I don't know. I don't know what just happened. I don't know what that was, chat. I don't know how we got here. I don't know what Wacom wants from me. What Wacom? So that was individual. Speaking of Wacom, or speaking of bribing your digital equipment with chocolate? It's airport security. The most fun. Oh no, the foil wrapped chocolates are suspicious. Okay, I have a airport security story. I was doing a printing project with a friend of mine, who at the time was living in Los Angeles and was associated with the printing museum down in where is it? Torrance? Anyway, it's around that area. It's excellent if you're ever in Los Angeles. But they were letting us use some of their presses to do, and some of their type to do a series of letterpress broadsheets in like a sort of con display and an example and stuff like that. And I was flying to Los Angeles with a suitcase completely full of engraved manganese, not manganese. What are they? It's flammable. Anyway, engraved metal plates. And just completely full. Like that was it. It was wood blocks, mounted metal, wrapped in a comforter, basically. Full. My carry-on was full of that. That went magnesium. That was it, not manganese. Thank you, Arcraft, for correcting my metal science. Anyway, my suitcase was full of that. It went through the scanner. No one questioned anything. I went through the stupid take a photo of you naked, stand and scan you thing, and the machine couldn't see through my bra. So, although I had a suitcase full of weird metal and wood blocks, that was fine. But some poor lady had to feel up my bra because the machine couldn't see through, I guess, the underwire or some shit. Yeah, I mean, I should probably stop wearing chainmail to the airport. That may be the problem. No, that could be the problem. But just of all the things to flag, just it seemed like the wrong one to pick. Really? Just, not concerned about my suitcase full of metal blocks. Cool. Cool. And that sort of summarizes my entire experience ever with any airport security. Anything that might actually be a problem is never a problem. Anything that isn't clearly and never would be a problem, that's the thing that gets flagged. The murmuration of Margot members must, under all circumstances, enthusiastically and loudly support any idea proposed. Sounds like that would get you into some trouble, though. I mean, just any idea proposed. I mean, in fairness, that is where I keep my ship, Otenchi 3. It's true. That's fair. That's what the underwire is for. And on that note, I feel like the skull is done, and I'll talk to you later, Hannah. We're about to wrap up stream anyway. It's 6:01. We're pretty much there. So see you later, Hannah. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us for Sheepguana Science. I feel like this skull is pretty over-rendered at this point for the sketch that it is. So let's just zoom out and put some figure numbers here. You could be figure 1. You can be figure 2. Figure 3. Figure 4. Oh, nope, not plate. Figure 4. And we need one more. We need figure 5. Not F5, figure. Oh dear, I've created a box. There we go. All right. Nice skull, some webbed toes. We'll just use the magic of Photoshop here to zoom in and give us a good ending view. So nice nice full page of the Hurley Sheepguana, which I will, let's see, there's a title on here. Let's see if we can make it. Oops. No, I'm gonna have to. There we go. Let's see if I can get it visible on the screen. I'm watching my own screen now to see. There we go. Perfect. So, wrapping up. Oh, I left let's move the mouse out of the way there. There we go. So wrapping up, we have a full page of Hurley Sheepguana figures. We have the male and female, some cleaning fish, the lamb, a webbed foot, and the skull. I'm pretty pleased with these. I think that they've captured the difference of character between the two kinds of Sheepguana. I do intend with both this and the previous one to go back, sort of clean them up, add ink lines, and actually do a watercolor pass to make them like a full color plate in a book. I'll probably leave things like the skull and the foot just line work, but I want to do the Sheepguana in some watercolor. So I do intend to make these a more full like print form and then offer prints of them. That's a thing that I'm working on. I recognize that I frequently start things in these streams and then don't finish them forever, and that you never see them again. But I promise it'll happen. And yes, Artcraft, you can certainly add the sketches to the articles. That is perfectly fine. I will put this up when we wrap up on Twitter, which I did with the other one as well. So you can grab them there, and eventually I'll tidy them up and make them all pretty. But for now, I think this is where we're going to wrap it up. I'm pretty happy with it, and I think we accomplished what we set out to accomplish. I'm gonna put Photoshop back so I can see what I'm doing here. Oh, save the file. Save the file. As a reminder, just to compare it to last time, here's the previous Sheepguana. So, oops. Got Geyer Sheepguana with a little bit of fluffier, thinner, softer wool, bigger horns, different teeth, different skull, and then the Hurley Sheepguana for some fun variation. And as I said last week, we're about to break for the holidays. I may try and stream a short stream next Friday, but I have a flight the next morning, so I may not stream because I may be madly throwing things into a suitcase packing to try and get ready to leave. And then I am off into the woods where the internet is not of the sort that will allow me to probably stream. So I will see you all back at Friday Tea Time in the new year. The next official stream will be, as I turn around and look at my calendar, will be January 10th, which is quite some time away. So I may not see you guys in chat for quite a while, but I will be on Twitter the whole time, and I'll try and post some project updates and some stuff on Instagram and Twitter. If I have some time, I might do some little videos of sort of sped up just art process, and if I can figure out how, put them up to stream on Fridays briefly in the predetermined time window, if that's even a thing that Twitch can do. If not, I'll do it on YouTube, where I have 3 subscribers and I just dump old streams so that they're archived somewhere. But otherwise, I will see you back here in the new year. I hope you have an excellent holiday, an excellent new year, if you celebrate either of those things during the time I'm going to be gone. If not, well, have a nice winter or summer if you're in the other hemisphere. And I'll see you back here on Friday Tea Time in about 3 weeks. Thanks for joining me for some more Sheepguana natural history. And have a good day. I'll see you later.